No, I'm struggling.
What's wrong with welcome back?
No, I'll be right. Okay.
You're,
That's why we can't do this live.
this could be our intro.
Well, it might have to be. God. Okay. 3,
Do you want me to clap again?
Clap again.
Okay.
Welcome, everybody, to the round 11 episode of the Magoos after a very successful round 10. Ben, just before we get too far into it, we do have to let everyone know. We both tipped 8, which was the perfect 8, of course, with Gold Coast and Port Adelaide having the bye. So it's actually been passed on to us that we are the only AFL podcast that we know of where both hosts tipped the perfect round last week. So congratulations.
Well done. Thank you. And congratulations to you as well. I think that says that, if anything, we're not so much the Magoos anymore. I think we may actually know our shit.
Yeah, we've got proper opinions and they're correct.
They're correct. Doesn't mean people want to hear them, though.
No, absolutely. It certainly doesn't. Certainly doesn't.
But we'll continue to give them to you anyway.
Yes, we're again jackless this week.
We are.
But, I mean, is what it is.
It is.
It's a corner
We're both learning how to, code and do not code. I don't know how to do
code.
that.
Yeah.
Well, that's exactly how
AI.
we both, we're coming along in the technology side of things.
Yeah. So if anyone wants to be the producer of the show, I guess hit us up.
Email us, maybe even Twitter us.
Don't email us. Do we have an email?
I think we do, but I don't think it's been used in a while.
Okay. There'll be plenty of spam in there. But moving on to the footy, round 10 behind us. We're almost at the halfway point of the year.
Actually, did you say you got 8 as well?
Yeah.
So you tipped the Bombers.
I did tip the Bombers.
You tipped the Bombers against GWS.
Yeah, I actually I was down Geelong watching the Carlton game, and I was just flipping on my phone, keeping the scores updated, and I was under the impression that I tipped GWS.
Oh, so it doesn't. Well, you should be stripped of that.
So
point then,
I was
if you're saying that you didn't mean it.
Yeah, I was sort of watching the game. Going, oh, come on, GWS, come on, kicking the gear, and then in the car on the way back home, I checked who tipped what and whatever, and then we've got 5 and 5. So
that's a good win actually by the Bombers. Where the mojo is, well, I won't say it's back.
No,
but the effort of the last 2 weeks has been better than anything.
It has been better. I mean, it couldn't have been any worse, could it? So, but baby steps for the Bombers.
See how we go dream time on Saturday night.
Yeah.
That's the real test, I think.
No, absolutely.
See where you match up against Richmond at the G. That's sort of anyone's sort of bar, isn't it? Speaking
of in-form sides, the Demons are just incredible at the moment, aren't they? They whitewashed the Crows up in Darwin. I mean, we spoke last week about it maybe being a danger game because they've sold their home game, and at the MCG they probably win, but you take it to a neutral venue and anything can happen. But they absolutely destroyed them.
They had no trouble, did they?
They just absolutely flogged them. And I mean, they obviously beat Carlton pretty comfortably the week before, but they are in some irresistible form, the Demons. And I mean,
they are. Who do they got this week? Don't know. That's all right. Sorry,
no questions without notice.
Not to put you on the spot, but
no questions without notice.
Because being over there, it still hasn't convinced me that I want to see them play Richmond at the G or something like that. Not a neutral ground. Because I think
they play the Bulldogs this week.
Okay,
that's good thinking. That's what
well done.
Yeah. With no producer, that's clever.
Because for me, I know that last year I wasn't. I was in denial about the Tigers until the prelim final. The whole year,
I was in denial until the Tigers about halfway through the last quarter of the grand final.
Yeah, I think most people who weren't Tiger supporters were like, I'm not sold yet. So I'm still not sold on Melbourne.
Who they beat in the grand final? The Swans? No,
Adelaide.
Adelaide. Yeah.
Come on, mate.
Well, I've just wiped it all from my mind.
That's good.
And another informed team who have continued to sort of, I guess, fly under the radar because I mean, no one's really taken them overly seriously, including yours truly. Mm-hmm. North Melbourne.
Yeah.
Go over, get the points against... Well, I don't think Freo are any great shakes. Over there, tough to beat.
Yep.
And they...
Good, hard fought-out game as well.
Won impressively. That's the other thing. And they're 6-4 after 10 games. And then next... I'll run you through the next 5. Mm-hmm. The next 6 weeks, obviously, with the bye in there. So they play Brisbane at Etihad Stadium, Geelong down at GMHBA Stadium, which is a tough game to win. But, I mean, I don't think Geelong are necessarily flying at the moment. Then they've got the bye. Then the next 3 games after that are all at Etihad against the Bulldogs, Essendon and Gold Coast.
Okay.
So they've already won 6 games. So say the asking rate's 12, maybe 13.
Yeah, around there.
And in the second half of the year, they play they played Brisbane this weekend, but they play them twice still, and they play the Bulldogs twice still.
Yeah.
And, with some of the games we mentioned in there, they are a huge chance to make the finals. I mean, I've said for most of the year that, they'd probably fall away, and they may still, but...
I think you said it even last week.
I did, yeah, I did.
I didn't, just for the record.
I'm not backtracking. I still don't think they'll make the finals, but
Okay.
they've set themselves up so well, and if they can continue to win some games of footy, they are going to really, really push it. They'd be dangerous in a final.
I think,
too.
they've known that they're underdogs in finals and can win those games. They've made those two prelims in recent history. Not exactly the same team that they've got, but some of those players.
Same sort of ethos, I guess, isn't it? Around that side,
they weren't even meant to win that first elimination final when I remember when they beat our boys back in
they did too.
2015 or something like that. But,
and they went on to the prelim, didn't they?
No, I think they will make it. I've been watching a couple of their games, and they actually look good. They not just like they're hot. I think they genuinely
they're well coached. Aren't they?
Well coached, yeah.
They
much as I hate to say that.
seem to be buying into it all. So, North Melbourne are well and truly on their way.
They're on the way
after a big win over in Perth. They continue to impress. So,
good start. What do you reckon we jump into it?
Why not?
Let's do it. Magoo's community. Let's go.
Okay, Benny, we're back.
We are.
And we will get stuck into the best segment on this program, the Magoo's Moment of the Week.
Just before you actually get into that one, I would like to, during the week, I think we could have a new segment, I reckon.
Ooh.
And I didn't know where we're down to producers, so I didn't know where we could sneak it in.
Yeah, you could have told me before we just started.
Might just rudely interrupt you there, and I think we can chuck it in here now.
Should I take notes?
No, you don't need to take notes.
Perfect.
You just do you, I reckon.
Okay, fair enough.
And that's what's really cool. So I commented on something during the week on Twitter and got a bit of, well, not backlash, but I did get a smart aleck reply from someone in the Twitterverse.
This is like another Reddit moment, like
no, because that was a whole community that
you were marched out of there.
Yeah. I was like, well, me you uploaded that video, but I thought we'll come up with something that I might try and find something each week or maybe every second week where I'll deliberately throw some bait out there into the footy community because it's quite easy to get a reaction out of someone. So I'm thinking, could name this Ben's Twitter beef.
Okay.
What do you reckon? It should be AFL related, but if it's not, I'll let you know because I don't like to be a smartass too much on there.
Ben's Twitter beef.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
So this week,
what's the hashtag? BFB?
BTB.
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 So what's it? BFB? But
Well,
BTB?
Doesn't matter.
BTBOTW.
All right, so moving on. We'll
sort that out.
I'll get it. So this week,
That's what happens when you don't discuss things with me and you just start talking.
I like to surprise you because you're good on your toes. So last week, there was something on the front bar that we're big fans of the show, the front bar.
Huge fans of the show.
And we're also fans of their show. They've said they're fans of our show. Yeah. But we love the front bar, and they've got this little segment where on Twitter you ask a question to their guest, and they'll try and answer it. Mm-hmm. So this week they had Michael Voss on the show, which was a really good interview. He was pretty great. They said, "Let us know what you'd ask the Triple Premiership skipper over a beer." Now I said, bear in mind it's quite a tongue-in-cheek sort of show, and just a little bit of how you going. I said, if Nathan Buckley decided to stay at Brisbane instead of leaving Collingwood, would Michael Voss be now introduced as quadruple premiership vice captain Michael Voss?
Wow.
With a little wink in there, for the people just to know, like, I'm not serious. Yeah. I'm taking the piss. Yeah. It doesn't need a reaction.
Mm-hmm. But you obviously got one.
We got one. Got one from obviously a Brisbane supporter.
Yeah.
He said, this is at BL010203. Not really. His name's Charlie. Okay. Just thought wouldn't surprise me.
BL01. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, that was a little bit of that had layers.
Yep.
He said Buckley wasn't half the captain. Voss was, pal.
I'm surprised he didn't champ.
He powed me. Jake. Pal. Now, if he just said Buckley wasn't half the captain Voss was, I probably would have liked his comment. Because I agree with him.
Good point.
But he powed me.
Yep.
He powed me. If you pow or champ someone, I'm gonna bite back. So it wasn't that clever a reply, but there's a little bit of beef. I said, thanks, buddy, old pal. Maybe if you've seen the show, it's pretty lighthearted, and I would think that Michael, unlike yourself, would have got the sarcasm. Pal. Powed him back. Just fighting fire with fire.
Yeah.
And then he just replied, Well, you never know with Pies supporters. No need to get serious, buddy, old pal.
Pie supporters.
Now, he's obviously not a viewer of the show because he would know I'm definitely not a Collingwood supporter.
Did you tweet him and tell him we had a podcast?
I should have.
Maybe we should get. Well, it's funny you say that because we're coming through the door now. We've got Charlie. Charlie, Twitter user.
Yeah, I should have. Once you pal someone, I think it's
remarkable.
I think it's Do you think that's fair game? It's sort of like in the real world, a pal is sort of like spitting on someone.
Maybe not quite that.
Maybe not at all that.
Just
but, it's quite demeaning when you pal someone or champ.
Ben's Twitter beef, it's not bad, but it also resembles a segment that sort of comes to mind that a good friend of yours, Kane Corns, does every week. He does mean tweets, so people who tweet him in.
Does he have a show?
Abusing. Yeah, he's on Fridays, SEN 9 to 12. He does Waitley on Fridays.
Actually, I did know that. So
and he reads out.
Title, so I wouldn't watch
he reads out mean tweets. So, you've been very critical. I know it's not the exact same thing, but
I see where you're coming from.
There's enough correlation that maybe you are really... Maybe that, although James Hurd's disappeared...
No, Paul Barnard's up there.
Yeah, maybe Kane Corns will be up there soon.
Maybe. I might just cut out his face and put it over Cooter.
No, get a new picture, I think.
New picture
that's signed, so don't don't ruin that.
To Jake, best wishes. Yeah. Kane. I'll just write Kane over it. Yeah, geez, that's a good pickup. Maybe I'm just actually...
You're just a shock jock trying to get a Twitter reaction.
Maybe.
Great, I like it.
Maybe.
Can I do my thing now?
You can, absolutely. That is Ben's Twitter beef.
Like it.
Shit, that is actually exactly like it.
Great. Anyway, the Magoo's moment of the week. We spoke about Melbourne a little bit earlier, and someone that I think typifies their form and their run at the moment is former number 3 draft pick Angus Brayshaw. He's obviously had a whole spate of concussion issues last year. We saw him running around with a helmet on the weekend. He has put together a really, really impressive month, capped off with his performance against the Crows on the weekend after starting the year in the Magoos. So he said that he's had a real change of habit. He said that obviously Melbourne were flying sort of during the preseason and that they had about 30 in-form players to pick from in round one, they thought, and he missed out. And he said that he sort of internalised a little bit and wasn't a good teammate for the guys at VFL level and things like that. And he has turned that around. Nathan Jones sat him down with Simon Goodwin and they talked out, how they could get him in the side and why wasn't he in the side and what did he have to do. And he has responded, for a man of just 22 years of age, fantastically well. He had 37 touches on the weekend and kicked 3 goals to cap off what has been a ripper month. Did you know that he's never played more than 10 matches in a season?
Wow.
So what did this be? 15, 16, 17? This would probably be a 4th year on the list.
How many concussions did you say you had?
I think he had 4 in 12 months at one stage or something like that.
Lot.
So he was like, he's been hampered a lot with that.
Yeah.
But you sort of think, 4 or 5 years into a career, number 3 draft pick, never played more than 10 matches. You sort of start to get to that point where it's I know that I've often sort of thought, he might just sort of,
in and out sort of fringe.
Yeah, never quite make it. But he's obviously got amazing talent / potential. And as he, it's a good month and it's only May. But he's one of those pieces that clicks together and Melbourne just become a really, really good unit. So after spending the first 3 or 4 weeks in the Magoos, he's brought some fantastic form into AFL level, which no doubt he picked up in the Magoos, which is where all good players ply their trade for a certain amount of time before they can step into the big time, as you and me have done.
Yep, absolutely.
So the Magoo's moment of the week goes to Angus Brayshaw for his 37 touches and 3 goals in Melbourne's enormous win.
Congratulations, Angus.
Yep.
We'll put you on a plaque.
No promises.
No, we don't have
promises.
Read
The plaque. No.
We'll
apparently we've got budget to buy Essendon
that was
profile pictures from
gift.
1996 by the looks of the centenary.
I think it was 93 or 96, wasn't it?
96. Well, he's around the centenary, isn't it?
Oh, we were actually questioning when that centenary was, but thanks for...
I don't know. I'm actually...
Well, I didn't buy it, but if anyone's got anything to chuck in, the
arrangement. Wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah, maybe a different team. We've got D's, we've got Blues, we've got Essendon, so...
Yeah, if you got any old Hawthorn
anything
gear,
really.
Richmond would be popular. I assume people still like Richmond.
Yeah, I assume that too.
Their 90,000 members could be. Port Adelaide got a lot of members too. I saw they've broken their record. So maybe some Warren Treadray, something like that. Yeah. Shay Cockatoo Collins.
DM us and we'll give you the address. I'll give you next door's address and I'll pick it up. But I'm not going to give you ours because our back door's unlocked all the time.
Anyway.
Really.
Okay, Benny. It is time now. You've perused over the socials a little bit.
Yeah.
What activity did you see?
Well,
last week
we ran a little bit of a poll last week, just a couple of days ago on Twitter, at the Magoos _ saying that Jake, a long-term Carlton man, thinks that Mark Murphy. This is talking about last week off the back of whether he should be traded or
free agency,
free agency, etc. Thinks Mark Murphy should leave at the end of 2018 and chase a flag. Mm-hmm. What do you think he should do? And the results were in. 67% said chase the cup.
Yep, they're correct.
33 stay loyal.
I agree with 2/3 of people in the world. I can handle that.
Yeah,
if I'm on the same page as 2/3 of the world.
I think it's interesting though, because I'd say like in the space of the last 5 years, even since free agency has sort of come a thing, that poll 5 years ago would have been 67 easily to stay loyal because AFL. I think AFL. Pre-Buddy leaving, I think, those sort of big names, even Gary, it's happened a few times in the last few years. Boring you over there, am I?
No, I'm with you. Keep going.
Rest, mate.
Keep going, yeah.
No, well, my point is it's slowly changing to less loyal. But I also get it from a player's perspective because if the club's not necessarily loyal to you guys.
Yeah, well, clubs aren't loyal to players, are they?
And in Mark Murphy's case, he doesn't have heaps of years left, and I can't see you boys winning a flag in that space. So,
it's interesting, isn't it?
I tend to agree, actually, with that.
Twitter polls are great, aren't they?
They are great. Depends though, because you get a few that are just like, I'm just gonna be a bit smart ass. But that one was. Didn't really.
Maybe they could feature in Ben's Twitter beef next week.
Yeah,
you could bait some of the Magoo's community.
Yeah, I will do that.
Good. Look forward to that.
What do you reckon? Do you reckon it's time?
Cane Corns?
Yeah.
Might as well.
Just before the Cane Corns, I wanted to actually Etihad Stadium changing their name. What do you think of that? To Marvel Stadium.
Marvel. It's all right. It's just. Every time it changes, I'm of the opinion. Well, I'm just going to call it that forever. So I thought I'm going to call it Telstra Dome. So.
I'm a colonial man.
But then it mirrored up with... I'm a colonial man. Mirrored up with Manchester City's Etihad Stadium, so I really like that. I thought that's real big branding sort of stuff. So I really bought into Etihad, but I can't see myself saying, we're going down to Marvel. Yeah, gee, we play well at Marvel.
We play well at Marvel.
I don't know, that doesn't seem like something that'll take, but I mean, I always thought I'd call it the Dome, and I haven't called it that since just before. Until
I've known it as Eddie. I think Eddie had really cemented it after a while.
Yeah.
It's funny, my nephew played half time there a couple of weeks, just a side note, at Etihad. And he was in the car and he goes, it's actually funny because my friend from school, his name's Eddie, and that's where we played. Poor kid.
Eddie,
yeah. Imagine EDDIE had. Eddie had Stadium. Now he doesn't have it anymore.
Love that. It's actually funny. I'll tell you a secret.
Yeah.
I think my friend owns this place.
But Cane Corns of the week is running into this sort of Marvel discussion because
into the Marvel universe.
Into the Marvel universe. That's
it. Isn't that in turmoil? The Marvel universe. No spoilers, but
no spoilers. Well, yeah, we're talking about the Marvel the universe because on the weekend on AFL Game Day on last Sunday, Hamish McLaughlin, who big fan of actually, other than
I actually saw that.
I know exactly what I think most of the people who know their
someone actually told me, did you see Game Day?
Well, it was quite funny. His efforts on AFL Game Day on Sunday were quite funny. He was wearing a Superman T-shirt in support of this new change of Marvel Stadium, and no one's told him, Jake. Not one producer on Game Day, not one person.
No one.
No, like they clearly don't know they're superheroes, do they? Because why is that, Jake? I'll ask you.
Superman's DC and Superman. Marvel is Avengers and Spider-Man.
Superman is DC. Yeah. He's worn the rival shirt.
His brother's the CEO of the AFL.
I know. That's what I thought. I thought he would have got a quick message, but just change that, would you? But funny look, bit of a gaff. But it would be kind of like if you know those people at a Carlton Essendon game and they wear their Richmond jerseys there, just look like look like a bit of a dill, don't you? It's a bit.
But people, I don't know, maybe it's a publicity stunt. Maybe it's a. Did you see him wearing the? Yeah, it's not
Do you
even Marvel.
think-
So people start to recognise what Marvel is. So I reckon 80% of the football population
Probably don't
wouldn't
know.
know.
No, I
Wouldn't
agree.
know what Superman is, wouldn't know what but Marvel, DC, don't know the cross and whatever,
Yeah.
what lies where. But Hamish McLaughlin wears Superman and they go, oh, that's actually not. Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah.
My mate told me that. Yeah,
I see what you're saying.
he's
A lot
not-
of people are saying that about Trump, though, as well, that he's actually a genius and he planned all this, blah, blah, blah. But I think the chances are is he's just stuffed
He's
that
just
right
worn
up.
on
I don't
t-shirt,
think he's going to go... Because I think it got enough publicity anyway, and it's going to be written on the stadium. That's what publicity's for.
Yeah, that's very true.
But that's an easy one, this one. So, Hamish McLaughlin, you're the round 11 Cane Corns of the week.
And there is mould. Ladies and gentlemen,
There
we
has
have
been
mould.
for a couple of weeks.
Okay, I try not to look at the corn.
No,
If I
don't
can
do it.
Um,
It'll catch you.
so we're almost there, Ben. We're almost completed the round 11 show.
Yep.
What I want to talk about this week, heading into this weekend. I
Sounds
should say.
really like-
No, it's not serious.
Gather
It's not. Well, it is serious, but this week, I mean, obviously the AFL season gets tougher and tougher to predict. But this week, every team inside the top 8 is playing a team outside the top 8.
Okay, that's interesting.
So, I mean, you and I are professional footy tippers now
Mm-hmm.
after our fantastic week. A really good 3 weeks for some,
Yeah.
which was me. So it appears on the surface an easy week to tip, but we all know it's not going to be the
necessarily,
case, is
no.
it? There's going to be 2, 3, 4
Yeah.
games that go against the narrative.
Well, a couple of those, you said outside the 8, but I know one of those games, Hawthorn Port Adelaide, is,
Well, they're
whilst they
not-
both
they're
are
not,
outside the 8, they're right about
Yeah, they're
there.
right on the verge. And it could really, if Hawthorn, I mean, it's down in Tassie, Hawthorn, Port Adelaide.
Yep.
Hawthorn could start to lose their grip on the top 8 if they get rolled there. I don't think they will. Down in Tassie, they
they're
play
good
pretty
down
well.
there.
But Port Adelaide, they're so hard to know what they're going to give you.
Yeah, they're doing a bit of a Bombers at the moment. Well,
Yeah, they're just
from
sort
a
of.
couple of weeks ago. Not now.
Yeah. So can you give us, and then Adelaide GWS is the other interesting one.
Yeah.
If both teams.
At Adelaide Oval?
Yeah, at Adelaide
Okay.
Oval. So again, GWS could well and truly lose their fleeting grip on the top 8. But
I think, yeah.
But, I mean, Adelaide coming back from last week, obviously we can't. But, I mean, both teams are still pretty injury-riddled. But that closes out the round on Sunday evening. I think that could be...
Yeah,
Could
I
be
think Adelaide
really.
they'll want to bounce back after their putrid performance last week.
Yeah,
against
it was
the
rubbish,
D's.
wasn't it? It was rubbish. But
But if we're talking upsets, because you could get only a 3 or a 4 this week, because there are a couple of those games.
yeah. So give us your upset then, Ben. You know,
I'm going to go with the same trend I've gone for the last 2 weeks. I'm going to say my boys are going to get it done at Dreamtime.
you reckon?
Yeah.
Against the Tigers?
Yeah, I've bought a
Wow.
ticket. I'm right up in the bleachers up there, so take your binoculars. I reckon we can get it done.
Well, there you go.
There you go.
The Bombers against the Tigers. I reckon if I had to choose one upset, I'm going to take the Suns to beat the Cats up there. I'm not sure if I'll tip it. Okay. But...
Jeez, wouldn't you love to say that?
Yeah, I mean, I saw the Cats last week, and I mean, I know Carlton locked them down defensively and turned them into a scrap, but I don't think that the Cats are playing their best football at the moment. And the Suns come off a break. They might they played some pretty good footy in the first half of the year. Sort of fell away a little bit, but I think they could be half a chance up there, the Suns. So if I had to choose sort of one upset of the week,
Yep.
I think that might be it
Lucky
up
our
there.
producer's not in again today. I reckon he'd whack you over the head for saying
Taking
that.
that personally.
But
yeah.
if you're right and that is an upset, he probably won't be
Does Gary travel?
in next week.
Is Gary going up there, do you think?
I don't know. Does the high altitude give him a bit of hammy tightness? What's the...
Give him a bit of sook.
I don't know. If that's your full-time job, I mean, that's a story for another time. But
I think it is.
if you're making those trades, making those moves to get this bloke there, you want him playing footy, don't you?
Against his old club, I'm assuming they'll pack in a Metricon to boo him.
Yeah, I don't know if they'll pack in the Metricon, but
They
they
ever?
might boo him, but they're not packing in.
Who's one guy?
I was saying Giablet. I don't
Well-
know even.
Benny, that's just about us, I think.
Yeah, I reckon.
Make sure that you follow, like, subscribe, share on all the socials.
Yep.
Hit us up with any thoughts you've got during the week or over the weekend from round 11. But most of all, enjoy the footy. Thanks for watching Magoo's Community. We'll see you next week.
Thanks, guys.
I got no rules, I count 'em. I got no rules, I count 'em. One, to pick up the phone. You know he's on the corner because he's drunk and alone. Two, don't let him in.